From WFSB 3, this is CT25 with Eric Parker. Sponsored by Johnson Brunetti.
Good morning. It is 4th of July weekend, a time when many of us take a break from work and head to the beach or the pool. It's also the time of the year we have our friend, best-selling author Luanne Rice join us for what we now call Eric and Luanne's Book Club. She is here in Studio A with her summer reading recommendations. Welcome back.
Thank you, Eric. It's not summer till we have our book club.
Right. We can't start summer. It's the unofficial start of summer is right here. We did this during COVID. We dreamt this up because we didn't have anything to talk to people about because we were all locked in our homes.
And everyone's staying home reading.
And you joined me via Zoom that first time. And I've now, every year, I read some of the books that you recommend. I think our viewers do as well. So you've picked some of your favorite summer reads,
yes,
and you're going to share them with us.
Definitely.
All right, let's start with the first one. Michael Connolly, Nightshade. This is an LA County sheriff who is exiled to Catalina Island, and I can't believe it, but he finds a big case.
I know, who knew? But, you know, so for your viewers who know Michael Connolly's work, I'm sure, he is the author of Bosch and The Lincoln Lawyer, which have been huge hit television shows on, I think that Amazon Prime and Netflix. And this new novel is a brand new character whose name is Stillman. We don't know his first name. And he's just the most delightful character. I mean, he's not Bosch, it's not redoing Bosch, but it has that, you know, kind of slightly jaded, smart, jazz-loving character on Catalina, which is a magical place.
And he's going there to escape, you know, some of the doldrums and the politics from being back at the mainland with the rest of the department.
Yes.
And then he ends up in a pickle.
He does, and that is very classic Michael Connolly, to examine the power structure of law enforcement and the judiciary, and you know, he just does it so brilliantly. And Stillman he's just great. You're going to fall in love with Stillman.
All right, so if you're looking for that, another one, Francesca Saratella, Full Bloom.
Yeah, so this is a delightful novel. This is Francesca's second. Her first was Ghosts of Harvard, and this one takes place in Greenwich Village. It's magical realism. It's a young woman who's kind of, you know, rediscovering New York, and it has an insider knowledge of the village. Francesca lives there, and she meets like a mysterious older woman who lives in a townhouse and who is from France, a master perfumier. So she creates scents. And Francesca did so much research about it, and she actually created her own scent that she sent out to those of us who got to review the book early. It's really incredible. And this scent has magical powers, so it's just a really delicious novel.
I always do just like a little 40,000-foot research on these things before you come on and talk to me. And everything said the bespoke perfume changed her life.
Yeah, it really did. And actually, I have it on now, and it changed mine too.
Close your eyes and count to 10, Lisa Unger.
So Lisa Unger is a master of suspense, and this is a novel that takes place there's a reclusive billionaire on an island who invites people, strangers, to come out and have a kind of a fun game of hide and seek with high stakes. Well, it turns out that they're literally fighting for their lives, and it takes place during a raging storm. So it's very dramatic and really satisfying.
All right.
Yeah.
The Sandy Page Bookshop, we have a New England theme, which is a Luanne Rice favorite, the story of second chances and historic sea captain's home. I mean, this is right up your alley.
Totally is.
It's like she wrote it for you.
She did. And in fact, so Hannah McKinnon, the author, lives in Connecticut. She went to my alma mater, Connecticut College. And this is one of several of her wonderful books that take place on a shoreline. In this one, the main character goes to the seaside town, finds a ramshackle captain's house, and decides to transform it into a bookstore. Now, how many people have that fantasy? Many do, that at least they tell me they do, and certainly writers do. And so she is doing that, and the contractor is kind of an old, a guy who had seen her long ago and carries a torch for her. So you kind of wonder about that. So it's romantic in two ways. You know, human romance, but also the romance of books. And
the New England and the sea captain's house, exactly, and all those things.
Yeah.
Now, I was interested, what I found quickly, Mansion Beach, Meg Mitchell Moore, what I saw for the description was a modern retelling of The Great Gatsby. Now, I tell people that The Great Gatsby is my favorite book. I think literarily that's lazy. But I like it.
Know.
I like it. And I like that idea of, you know, the pomp and circumstance turns out to be all smoke and mirrors,
right?
And that maybe you're doing things to impress people that you shouldn't be. And I like that book quite a bit. Tell us about how this kind of plays into that.
I will. And by the way, The Great Gatsby is definitely in my top 5
okay,
of all time.
I feel better.
And for your viewers, read the last line in The Great Gatsby. It is one of the best lines in the world. Boat speeding against the current and green light and all that. Yeah.
Awesome. I love it, and I hope that's not lazy of me. But
no, it isn't.
Tell us about this one, Mansion Beach.
So Meg, and I had the pleasure of interviewing Meg at Bank Square Books a couple of weeks ago. It takes place on Block Island, and Mansion Beach is actually the name of a beach, a real name of a beach out there. And as you said, it's kind of inspired by The Great Gatsby. So a young woman living next door to this glamorous kind of person who has parties that go on 24 hours a day. And as you said, nothing is as it appears. At first, it's kind of, you might be envious of all that excitement and wealth, but it turns out to be different, to have dark corners.
All right. I thought that the Sandy Page bookshop was a Luanne Rice. This next one, I think, is Under the Stars. It's a mother and daughter. They return to the New England island home, and they find paintings. I mean, this is, who is writing these books?
Well, when I got to the paintings, I was really, really into. So it's Beatrice Williams, who also lives in Connecticut, and she's a wonderful, elegant writer. This novel, as several of her last, take place on Winthrop Island, which is really a stand-in for Fisher's Island. So it's, in real life, Fisher's Island is probably the most exclusive island in the world, and it's right off our shore, although it's in New York State. But a mother and daughter, who have grown up there but have avoided it for many reasons, and they discover a sea chest that had been, that had been actually the main character's father's, and going through it, it does. Paintings and art become a big part of the story. And the story goes back and forth in time to another connected character who, in 1846. So it's across the centuries. It's really a wonderful novel.
I want to pull up, we have a graphic that shows all of the pics again. We'll post them. I know you will. I will post them on social media, so if you want to go on there. But I want to ask you about one that's not on this list. We're about to talk to Wally Lamb in our next segment. I saw you a couple of weeks ago right after you had finished his novel, and you were literally shaking.
I was.
You said you didn't feel it was appropriate as a beach read. It's really not, it's pretty heavy stuff.
Well,
but tell me your thoughts on it.
Okay, and first of all, I mean, it is heavy. It could be a beach read. I would read it on the beach. It's absolutely brilliant, stunning, troubling, heartbreaking. In some ways, there's Wally humor in it. I love Wally. He's a friend of mine, and I want to congratulate him for this, because it really is a tour de force. And I don't blame Oprah for having chosen it as his third Oprah pick. So, yeah. But I was shaking. I really was.
Literal tremors when I saw you right after you had finished it.
It's really true. And I've woken up a couple times since I read the book. It's been in my dreams. I've had tears on my face. It's an incredible book. It'll tug your heartstrings in a way that, I mean, I've told you this, Sophie's Choice. I mean, it had that power for me.
All right, real quick, your next book is coming out next year?
It'll come out next year, yeah.
And we're looking at the last three. We've had you on, I believe, for each of them. Last Day, Shadowbox, and Last Night. You can get them. They're wonderful. And then you will, and this is If Anything Happens to Me, your young adult book.
Oh, yeah, my young adult.
But Familiar Characters coming out next year.
Yeah, the Reed brothers are coming back.
All right, well, we'll look forward to that, and we'll, of course, have you back. This is my favorite. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you,
And
Eric.
hopefully our viewers will get some great suggestions.
I hope they enjoy them.